You are watching the New American Media. Live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, Los Angeles, California to be specific. Hello everybody, I am Brian Engelman. Thank you for joining us here on thenewamericanmedia.com. Thanks for finding us on Strictly Browns, a subdivision of the Unhappy Hour, the world's only Cleveland-centric, Los Angeles-based sports show that we're currently aware of. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. If you're not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. You can find us at youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. On Twitter, we're at American_media_. And you were listening to Galaxy Jam, Acoustic Pyramid from Cosmic Sounds. Cool stuff, cool music, and if you're not following us on Twitter, like we said, American_media_, search for our stuff on Facebook, thenewamericanmedia.com. Check out what's going on, leave some comments. Thanks for finding us again. We are once again pleased to be joined with our special co-host for this Strictly Browns segment, Brandon Odell. Brandon, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just survived another work week of fatherhood, so to speak.
Nice. Well, there are growing pains becoming a father, and there are growing pains when you're a lousy football team. Once again, the Browns failed to defeat the Baltimore Ravens. Richardson had a decent little game. Didn't get enough going from Whedon. The defense gave up 25 points. Pat Shurmur with some questionable timeouts and some... It's just not feeling too good to be a Cleveland Browns fan. What are you taking away from the Ravens game last week, Brandon?
Before we get there, can I first say that in the area where I live, it's kind of a whatever team you like is the team you root for out here. We're kind of definitely a lot of Browns fans, but we're pretty close to Detroit, we're pretty close to Indianapolis, we're pretty close to Chicago. We're kind of equidistant from all of those different places, and Cincinnati as well.
All right, wait. Let me back up. Whatever team you like, you root for. Well, that's how it is everywhere, right?
No, but I'm saying, you don't have a home team that is dominant, I guess is what I'm saying.
So you have the Browns, the Lions, the Colts, and the Bengals.
And the Bears. The Bears, we're only 3 hours from Chicago too, so we definitely have Bears fans around here as well. But there's definitely a lot of Colts fans, and can I just say how jealous I am of to be a Colts fan? I mean, it's like man, oh man, they got 13, 12 years or whatever of Peyton Manning to enjoy, and they have one crummy year. That's all that they have, and then now they're back on top, and really sitting pretty right now at in the playoff hunt with Andrew Luck just continuing to show that he definitely has the goods, and I mean, you think about Robert Griffin III and stuff, but he's certainly not producing wins the same way that Andrew Luck is. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just I've got a really big-time Colts fan around the corner for me, and I've been looking forward to trying to just kind of tell him off once and for all and just let him know that he's a total jerk.
Tough to do when Whedon's out there throwing 2 interceptions looking like the 30-year-old that he is.
Yeah. But anyway, as far as the Baltimore game goes, I mean... They once again had a good chance at things. They had the lead in the fourth quarter, but you and I both saw the writing on the wall when that touchdown pass to Josh Gordon got called back.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
You knew having to settle for another field goal that Baltimore was going to find a way to win, and that's what they did. The Browns just haven't been able to truly get consistent offense going all season, and you certainly point to the wide receivers. But just a dumb penalty on Chris Ogbonnaya, to be lined up incorrectly, and I mean, Josh Gordon for the second time in 3 weeks had a chance to be able to make a game-changing play and made the play this time.
Yeah, this time he made it at least. It wasn't his fault that there was an illegal motion. He did his part right.
But got the touchdown taken away nonetheless.
Yeah.
So definitely a disappointing ending to the game as far as how the clock was managed in the last 3 or 4 minutes like that. Going for it with almost 4 minutes left from Baltimore's 20-yard line, or our 20-yard line, I should say, and just basically handing Baltimore the game at that point. With 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, just didn't seem like the right call to anybody. There was a lot of head scratching, and after the game, Shermer said, "Oh well, if it would have worked, then everyone would have thought it was a good move." Which I guess you say, yeah, but the percentages are definitely against you in that case, and that throw that Whedon threw on 4th down.
Oh, it reminded me of the Hail Mary that he threw out of the end zone. Remember that a few weeks back?
It was pretty rough, but either way, all things considered, Baltimore's the better team, and that's all there is to it. And when you're having to consistently only settle for field goals, you're not going to beat a team like that. That's all there is to it.
Well, last week I believe I predicted the score was going to be 33-something, and you astutely brought up that I was probably saying Phil Dawson was going to get 11 field goals. And it really cracked me up, but turns out we had a 32-yarder, a 28-yarder, a 29-yarder, a 33-yarder, and a 41-yarder. Dawson. 5 field goals. I mean, you're not going to win in this league when you cannot punch it into the end zone at all. I mean, how much of this is on... Is it more the line? Is it more the quarterback? It can't be Richardson, is it? Is it Shermer? What is causing us to just miss these opportunities? Because this was a winnable game against a very good team. We're hanging in there for most of the game. We just got, really outplayed in the fourth quarter and the first quarter for that matter. But what is going on with the offense? Why can't we punch it in? Narrow it down. Do you think it's just the receivers? What would you say is the biggest problem?
You can't say it's the line, because Richardson is running pretty well and is making positive gains. He's getting decent yardage running the ball. Whedon isn't really being sacked all that much.
That's true.
So, those are the 2 main jobs of the offensive line. Whedon is getting passes batted down. I don't know how much of that you can put on the line, because at some point the quarterback has to make sure that they're throwing through the proper lanes, and any defensive lineman is taught to automatically put their arms up when the ball is coming their way, so the quarterback has to be able to make those adjustments. So I definitely think that certainly some of this needs to be put on Whedon's shoulders, and I think he has acknowledged that and has accepted responsibility for that, to his credit. And I think certainly some of it needs to be put on the play calling. I think that there continues to be some questionable play calling. I think that at some point, if Shermer is going to keep his job, it's going to be him turning play calling duties over altogether to the offensive coordinator and giving Childress a shot at being able to call the plays. But I don't know. I mean, even in the victories that they've had, the 2 wins that they've had at home this year, the offense has certainly been affected by the weather, but was largely inadequate versus the Chargers. And let's face it, the defense had a big role in the Browns beating Cincinnati, a few weeks before that as well. So the offense still has a lot of question marks to it, and there's no doubt about that.
Well, we look forward. This is a week that I guarantee the Cleveland Browns will not lose. I guarantee they cannot lose this week. Guarantee. But that's because we're on the bye week. And we're hearing some people say, well, if you got to figure out if Whedon's the guy, why not start Colt McCoy down in Dallas? The Texas kid down in Texas, 2 interceptions. He's not getting any victories. They're moving the offense, but it's not going anywhere. At what point do you get rid of the coach? At what point do you change the quarterback? Before we get into the Dallas game specifically, what would you do if you were Jimmy Haslam? Have you seen enough out of Shermer? Do you let him go?
I don't know. Let's wait until the end of the season But I mean, Shermer hasn't shown much to be able to say he deserves to keep his job. And so, I mean, if that's any indication, then I would say, hey, on to the next guy. There's certainly been plenty of coaches who have shown that they can turn a team around and put it on the right path in their first season. I mean, the 49ers were a losing franchise for a decade. And you see that Harbaugh came in and really got that team going on the right path. And I think that's an excellent example. But, I mean, even coaches that were looked upon as being saviors, like a Rex Ryan, for instance, have a lot of question marks. Jason Garrett was so highly touted coming into Dallas, and Dallas has a lot of question marks. What do they do at quarterback? I mean, you look at Tony Romo, and, I mean, this guy just seems to throw crucial pick after crucial pick. And he still has a lot of defenders out there who try to say that this guy is an elite quarterback, and I mean, I just don't see it, because I don't see him consistently making the right moves, and Dallas certainly doesn't have quite as many weapons as what Green Bay has or anything like that. But I just can't see putting Tony Romo in that class. So anyway, you have to put a lot of it on the coach, and I could certainly see Shermer being gone. I think that he has been, his talent around him has been upgraded considerably over the last couple of years. I think that these young guys definitely can play, but I mean, we've had years, the last couple of years, where the Browns have been hanging in there every game and only gotten blown out maybe one or two times, but still are 4-12 at the end of the season. So, that's not really, much of an indication there either. So, I think Shermer's probably gone at the end of the year, unless something dramatically changes.
Do you think he'll last the season, though?
I don't see any point in firing him midway through the season.
Well, we'll see what happens. They fired Mike Brown. Let's go into overtime. Just bounce around real quick, and we'll let you get going here. Before we get to overtime and Mike Brown getting fired after 5 games, any prediction for the Dallas game? Which team do you think is going to show up on November 18th after the bye week? Do you think the Browns can get it together and knock down a Dallas team that's really kind of not living up to expectations?
Well, I think that one of the main things that you want to consider is which Dallas team is going to show up. The Dallas team that beat the Giants opening night I believe that might have actually been in New York, because usually they'll give the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's in New York.
And so you beat the Giants on opening night.
24-17, yeah.
Are you the team that what did they throw? What did Romo do? They have like 5 or 6 turnovers in their last game. So, I mean, who's really to say which Browns team shows up, which Dallas team shows up? There's so many variables there. I don't think that the Browns are truly the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars this year are both just an absolute mess, and are getting blown out of games. I think the Browns are a lot closer than either of those two teams are right now, which is interesting because the Chiefs had so much promise the last few years. But I think it just kind of goes back to the coach once again. I don't know why Romeo Crennel, everyone thought that he was going to do such a great job. We already kind of knew what kind of coach he was in Cleveland.
Right.
I mean, it is very hard to be able to call. Dallas had their bye week, I think, this past week. I think they're playing this weekend. It'll be interesting to see what Dallas team shows up this weekend. So, but it is in Dallas, so I would probably venture to guess that it's going to be an uphill battle and a difficult game for the Browns to be able to win.
Well, I'll go ahead. I'm the eternal optimist with the Browns. So I'll just go ahead. I think they're going to score. I think they're going to be good. I'm going to stick with my 33 number, but I don't think it will be 11 Phil Dawson field goals this time. I'll say 33 to 27. What about you?
Let's go 21-17 Dallas.
Okay, we shall see how that plays out. Bounce over to... What's that?
So.
What's that?
We also have a week to change our minds as well.
Well, I think the bye week is going to help the Browns, to really evaluate how you lose a game to the Eagles that you should have won, how you lose that game to the Colts that you should have won, how you're hanging with Baltimore after a horrible 0-14 start. You come back and then you just can't put it together. I think the team that the bye week is coming at a really good time, and I think they're going to be dangerous after the bye week. Unfortunately, we have a pretty lousy record right now heading into the bye week. So let's just bounce to overtime real quick, Brandon. Just pepper you with a couple of quick questions. We'll let you get going here for this fantastic weekend. What do you think about Mike Brown getting fired after 5 games into the season? Is that pretty ridiculous, or does this shed? Let me ask you the question differently. Does Mike Brown getting fired 5 games into the season after an 0-8 preseason and a 1-5 start on the Lakers team, does that put the LeBron James years into perspective with how we couldn't seal the deal, or does this not play a role in how you think back on those Cavs teams?
There's a lot of veterans on that on that Lakers team. I didn't realize they went 0-8 in the preseason. I certainly knew of what their record was in the regular season, but didn't pay any attention to what was going on in the preseason. Either way, Mike Brown never really particularly showed that he was, some kind of an outstanding coach. He was all right, but let's face it, when you've got the best player on the floor every single night, you're going to win a lot of ball games in sport, but especially basketball, because there are fewer people involved than in any other sport, And LeBron definitely. You saw the big difference the year he was there, and then the year that he wasn't. There was a lot more about LeBron being gone than Mike Brown being gone. That's for damn sure.
Well, Rachel Nichols is also reporting that Mike Brown's high school aged son is getting threats from angry fans. Sports is sports.
Well, some people are just going to be ridiculous about that stuff, and it's not right. But it's just think about the people that were burning the LeBron James jerseys in the streets.
Well, I do support that. I do support that strongly.
Well, there's at some point, I believe that you need to realize that it is a game is a game, and you can still act relatively civilized about things, but I guess to each their own. So either way, I thought it was kind of BS he got fired so quickly, but I also didn't realize they were 0-8 in the preseason. So something was going wrong, and I think that they saw the ship sinking and wanted to take care of it quick. So
now, technically, this could have still been under strictly Browns, but Sean Payton, with his contract being voided and kind of technically being a free agent right now, do you think there's any chance that the Browns might go after someone like Sean Payton as a head coach?
Oh, I'd love it. Who wouldn't? He's one of the probably top 5 coaches in football. So you've certainly seen what I don't know. He's just think about how much they miss him in New Orleans right now.
Right.
And I guess it doesn't necessarily mean that New Orleans couldn't still re-sign him.
Oh yeah, they absolutely could, and that might be likely, but. If I were the owner, just bought a lousy football team, and I'm looking around the league who's available, I think that would be on my radar pretty solid right about now.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But Shermer's not gone yet, so no need to start speculating on who his replacement.
I'll give you that. But he's really got to turn it up and really impress the hell out of us in the second half of the season, because there's a lot of grumbling in Cleveland about that head coaching job. Let me ask you about this as far as karma. You look at the Eagles headed one direction, with Michael Vick and Andy Reid about on their way out, and you look at the Falcons undefeated with Matt Ryan. You think of the karma. It's not just that Mike Vick Vick made a bad choice, or had a few too many soda pops and made a bad decision, or ran his mouth or something, and people took it the wrong way. I mean, this is a guy that was torturing living creatures, killing them and whatnot.
He was a bad person for a long time in his life, and I don't debate that at all. And there is always something to be said for karma, but if there is everything to be said for karma, then we get a little karma our way from time to time, and it doesn't really seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon in any of our sports.
When are the Browns going to win something? Come on, we've had all the bad stuff. Where's the good stuff? Do you think
oops, I'm sorry. I did not mean to let that one slip, but they are probably closer than the Cavs or the Indians are right now to being a consistent playoff contender. So,
well, let me ask you: do you think the Falcons can go undefeated this year? And then I just want to get your thoughts on the early Cavs season.
Okay, Falcons, no, they won't. They're not that good. But as far as the early Cavs season, I think they've pretty much shown that they're young and that they're going to have a hard time really matching up against veteran teams. And until some of these guys start growing up another year or two. I mean, do not forget LeBron didn't make the playoffs the first 2 years, and then I think the third year when they made the playoffs, did they even have a winning record? Or maybe they barely had a winning record, and I think in the second season they almost made the playoffs, and they were like 10 games under 500 or something like that. So, either way, there's a long road before the Cavs are an elite team, and Kyrie Irving and Andy both need to show that they can stay healthy, which Andy's already sitting out a game and stuff, and Kyrie's probably hasn't he already sat out a game? I mean, it's so. Either way, they have potential, and but I definitely think that there's a long ways to go before you can really tell too much. I do like what I've seen out of their rookies, Waiters and Zellers. I think that both of them, and Zeller's been out now too for a couple of games with a concussion and a broken cheekbone or something.
Oh yeah, so. he got slammed with an elbow. I got to watch that game because it's local market against the Clippers, and I'll tell you what, the Cavs looked really good. Waiters was just knocking it down from long distance. I mean, the dude's fearless. I don't know how consistent he can be with that type of game, but he at least has it in him to take over a game, because he did. And Zeller was looking solid. He was looking like a solid player, and who knows how far back this concussion.
Second rounder, wasn't he? Or we get him?
We got him at, I believe it was number 22. We packaged two picks together to move up. I think we went to, who did we trade? Boston to go up to 22 or something like that. So.
Hey, good deal then. His little brother is like the top player in the country right now, so maybe the older brother can play a little bit too.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. So, Brandon, I think that's about all we have time for now. So, I don't know. Any final nice words out the door for words of optimism or encouragement, whether it's Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeyes, who we didn't even talk about?
Well, I guess since one team that we would strictly talk about is on the bye week, go Cavs.
Go Cavs. All right, go Cavs. Brandon, thanks a lot. You have a great weekend. We'll be talking with you in a few, okay? All right?
All right, you have a great weekend as well.
All right, take care, man. That was Brandon Odell joining us again on Strictly Browns here at thenewamericanmedia.com. Thanks a lot for sticking around with us. Thanks a lot for joining us. We love the Indians, Cavs, the Browns, the Buckeyes. Obviously, I mean, we pay attention to all sports. But, that's who we root for. That's who we are. We also, we watch all of the major stories. But, come on, go Browns, go Indians, go Cavs, go Buckeyes. We'll see how it's going. A lot of young talent on the Cavs team, but definitely have to stay healthy. The Browns have got to get it turned around. And the Buckeyes, Urban Meyer, undefeated. It's lonely being 10-0. So, we'll see when we're able to compete for a national championship starting next year. Thanks for listening. Please go ahead and follow us on Twitter at American_media_. Subscribe to youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. And check out our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. We'll be back next week. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk with you soon. WGNAM Radio, because the news always matters.